Peace. What's the word? What's happening, everybody? How everybody feeling on this wonderful Sunday? Hopefully, y'all got about 45 minutes to an hour to tap in with the kid. Listen to this bill, add on, and y'all see the subject matter, man. We want to talk about the untimely death of Gotti and type 2 diabetes, man, and how that's becoming as normal as the common cold, man. So, I just want to elaborate on some things when it comes to diabetes and how we just need to start taking things like that a little bit more seriously, man. But before I tap in and dive into that subject matter, man, y'all tap in with me. Let me know how y'all living and feeling on this wonderful Sunday, man. What's the word? We back at it. Hey, Lindell, peace, my brother. What's happening? What's the word? How we living and feeling on this wonderful Sunday, man. Tap in with the kid, man. Like I say, hopefully y'all got about an hour. So we got some important things to discuss, man. We got to start taking our health a lot more seriously. Manuel, peace. What's happening? What's the word? How we living? How we feeling? What's the word, man? A lot of these conditions that we find ourselves in are quite reversible, and it doesn't really require a lot in theory, man. We just got to be willing to make a few sacrifices. We gotta be willing to make a few lifestyle changes, man. It's that simple, man. And we gotta stop making this more complicated than it actually really is. Hey, Garrison, peace. What's happening? What's the word? How we living? How we feeling? What's the word, man? How my good people living and feeling? I'm gonna give y'all about 5 minutes, man, to tap in, man. I got some clips that I want to play from Gotti's Drink Champs interview. I think that may have been a year or so ago. When he was talking about his struggles with diabetes. And diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is one of the simplest conditions to reverse if you just make the lifestyle changes that you need to make. I know plenty of people that were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes that made some lifestyle changes and they was able to reverse the condition. But when you deal with Western medicine, when you deal with these doctors, they want you to believe that there is nothing that you can holistically do to reverse diabetes, and they want you tapped in with medicine for the rest of your life or for the entire duration of the diabetes. Don't have to be like that, man. Diabetes, from a dietary standpoint, is very simple to reverse. Very simple to reverse, man. It's just a few dietary tweaks that you have to make, and that type 2 diabetes will be on its way out the game or out the gate. But what's the word, man? Tap in, man. Y'all still got about 2 minutes, man. Let me know how y'all living and feeling on this Sunday, man. What's the word? How we living and feeling on this Sunday, man? Tap in with me. We got some important things to discuss. Got to talk about that health, man. Got to talk about type 2 diabetes, man. We got to stop allowing this stuff to take us out the game, man. Especially, hey, Antonio, my brother, peace. What's happening? What's the word? At some point, we have to evolve and we have to mature mentally. When you face with a crisis, man, sometimes you just got to understand some things are bigger than you, bigger than your enjoyment of life. When you got other people depending on you, when you got other people that's rooting for you, when you got other people that kind of need you to exist for a longer period of time, and you can do something about it, then you must do something about it, man. You can't ignore the people that's dependent upon you. You can't ignore the people that love you, the people that's rooting for you. You can't do that. You can't do that, man. Especially when you fight something like that, man. You got to understand how that impacts the people around you. I don't know about you all, man, but watching people die of certain illnesses, man, that impacts you. That impacts you negatively. So if you got people rooting for you, trying to give you some things that you can do to help reverse the condition, man, it's like the least you can do is implement these things with an open mind, with a positive mind. Don't reject them. Don't ignore them, man. And they got to sit and watch you suffer and die. Like, that is going to impact them for the rest of their lives, fam. Especially when you just pretty much disregarded their suggestions and recommendations, man. You can't do that. Like, don't do that. Because again, man, when you dig that grave for yourself, man, you are impacting the people around you, man. And that's something to consider. That's something to consider for sure, man. You got other people, especially when you got other people that's dependent upon you, So that's a totally selfish act, and not selfish in a good way. Not selfish in a good way. But man, I want to put this screen up, man, so I can share this video from that Drink Champs interview. And I just want to touch on some things that he was talking about here, man. Let me all right, let me get this screen up here. I think we in that thing right here. All right, boom. Let me play this first part real quick.
So what is diabetes for a person that don't know?
I don't, it's your sugar levels in your body.
Right. So that's the thing where people be like,
it's rampant with black people.
It's dangerous.
Right.
It's dangerous. All right.
So boom, first part that I want to highlight is Nori asked Irv Gotti, what is type 2 diabetes for the folks that don't know? And my man's literally out of his mouth said he doesn't know. That's a major problem, and that's like a pet peeve that I have. You are going to have a hard time reversing a condition or addressing a condition or situation if you lack the knowledge of what it is. Knowledge is the foundation. Knowledge is the very foundation, fam. So if I have a problem, the only way that I can solve the problem if I know what the problem is. If I don't know what the problem is, I cannot solve it. So the first mistake is Irv Gotti chose to live in ignorance. Basically, not knowing what diabetes actually is. If I'm not able to give a definitive definition of what it is that I actually have, how can I reverse it? I can't. I'm trusting these experts. I'm trusting these people around me. You can't do that, man. When you got something that you are dealing with, that your body is dealing with, then you have to attain or acquire the knowledge in regards to what it is that your body is facing so that you can do what's best for your body to reverse it. But if you choose to live in ignorance, man, you don't stand a chance, man. In that interview, they asked my man's what was type 2 diabetes, basically for the people that don't know, and he did not have an answer. He said he doesn't know. And they started to laugh like this is funny, man. This is not funny. Especially when he proceeded to say after that this is something that runs rampant in the black communities or the black community. So if this is something that the black community is dealing with, don't you think you might want to gain some knowledge in regards to what the condition actually is? I don't know about you all, but I don't like to be in the unknown when it comes to things that I'm dealing with. I'm not living in that type of fear. A lot of people, and I've heard people say this, that they would rather not know about certain things because it instills fear in them. It makes them afraid. Like, I don't like to live like that. Let me know everything there is to know, because the more knowledge I have, the more my chances increase of being able to conquer this problem. The less knowledge I have in regard to the problem, then that minimizes my chances of being able to conquer this problem or solve this problem. So why would you want to remain ignorant? Why would you want to be in the unknown when it comes to a condition that you are facing? That is going to severely minimize your chances of conquering the ailment, of conquering the condition. The less you know, the more likely you are to succumb to that condition. It's a fact. So the more you know, the more you give yourself a shot at reversing the condition, defeating the ailment, conquering the ailment. So I don't understand why you would have something that you are facing and you're not able to define what it is. I will never live like that. If I got something that I'm dealing with and somebody telling me I have this and that, give me all the information. Give me the definition. Give me the history of it. Give me the very first case that ever happened. You know what I'm saying? Give me all of this. Type 2 diabetes can go all the way back to the Egyptians when they did the piss test. When they had to taste the urine, and if somebody's urine, like if somebody urinated and the ants and all that gravitated towards the urine, which indicated that the urine was sweet, that was how they determined if somebody had type 2 diabetes back in the day, back in the ancient Egyptian days. So it's like, man, I'm knowing about something that I don't even have. Like, he should know all that history, fam. You should know all that history. You should be able to define, you should be able to trace the history of something that you're facing. That is going to give you a better chance of conquering it. But when you choose to live in ignorance, you basically digging that grave for yourself. Now let me continue on with this clip here. Hold on. Let me put this screen back up. All right, let's continue on.
And what it does is it starts deteriorating your body. So
And you good? Like you got it under control?
no.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, because when you been.
Boom. So again, they asked my man's, is he good? And did he have the type 2 diabetes under control? And my man said no and proceeded to laugh. Like I must be one of the chosen few in the minority who I don't find this type of stuff fun. Like that's not a laughing matter to me. You know, that's never going to be a laughing matter to me. But they asked my man, did he have it under control? And he proceeded to say no and laugh. Like, man, what is funny about that? Like, what's funny? What's funny about that? Like, I may have missed the joke, but I don't find anything funny about that. Like, I don't find anything funny about not having the condition under control knowingly. Like, you know that you don't have it under control, meaning you know that you're not doing what's right and exact to have it under control. Like, come on now. Like, that's not the way to live. But let me continue on.
Diagnosed, or this is a recent thing?
I've been diagnosed with diabetes forever.
Because it's like the smallest I've ever seen you. Like,
It's hereditary.
yeah, okay.
I've been diagnosed with diabetes.
You have to do insulin?
Time to time, not all the time, but time to time.
Okay.
When my number gets too high, stop.
I
heard that is reversible. Yes, it's reversible, but you got to change the way you eat.
Like be vegan?
You got all that. But you know what's up with diabetes?
Now listen, another thing I want to touch on is my man said it's hereditary. I can't stand that statement anytime that I hear it. They have done plenty of research to let you know that genetics, it counts for your genes count for a very small percentage of the ailments and conditions that you will come down with. The lifestyle factors are a way higher percentage than your genes, than genetics. That is an actual fact. They have done plenty of research to show and prove that. So the lifestyle factors impact your health far more than your genes. So when we start saying things are hereditary, that is garbage. You know what I'm saying? Like that's garbage and that's not right and exact, but that is something that they want you to believe. The lifestyle choices that you make pull the trigger, you know? So again, you can have certain things that appear to run in your family, but these things that appear to run in your family are the results of certain habits. And that's what they don't want people to know. Diabetes is a condition that you get because of certain habits, fam. So when you see this running in your family, it is the habits that lead to the formation of diabetes that run in your family. That's how that should be phrased. They need to stop saying type 2 diabetes runs in my family. What they need to start saying is the habits that lead to the formation of type 2 diabetes. That is what runs in my family. That is what runs in your family. The formation of habits, man, the habits that form the condition, that is what is running in your family. That is what is running in your family, not the actual disease and the condition, fam. Again, the lifestyle choices that you make pull the trigger. So if you think you are more susceptible to like diabetes, cancer, and things along those lines, all that means is you have to be more mindful in regards to your lifestyle choices. Like you have a shorter leash than the average person or the next person. You know, if you see 10, 15 of your family members then all died because of heart disease, then that means you have to be a little bit more mindful in regards to your lifestyle choices. That is what that means. That don't mean that it's inevitable that you will come down with heart disease. That just means you have to be a little bit more cautious. You have to eat more foods that build up the heart. You have to stay away from the foods that can destroy the heart. That's it. That don't mean you will automatically come down with heart disease. The only way that will happen is, again, if you adopt the habits that leads to the formation of heart disease. This is what is running in our families, fam. These habits. That's what's running in the family, not the diseases, not the conditions. We need to stop saying that, because just like you got several members of your family that have had type 2 diabetes, you got several members of your family who don't have type 2 diabetes. You know, so when we start getting these conditions, it's funny how we choose to associate with the other family members who had the condition. You can also choose to associate with the family members that you have that don't have these conditions. It's only when we get these conditions when we want to start saying, oh, it's hereditary, it runs in the family. What about the plenty of family members that do not have diabetes? Why are you not choosing to associate with them? So again, everybody in your family is not type 2 diabetic. Everybody in your family ain't got cancer. Everybody in your family ain't got heart disease. You know, you got plenty of people in your fam that got the DNA that you have that come from the same DNA branch that you come from that don't have this ailment. Plenty of them. Plenty of them. Now, let me continue on with this video here. Now, and then you also heard the dude, the other guy, say he heard it's reversible and you have to change the way that you eat. You know, and they start mentioning going vegan and things like that. Right and exact. So with that, with you admitting that, you already know that there is something that you can do about it. You know it. Irv Gotti knew it. He wasn't oblivious to the fact that you can reverse the type 2 diabetes via making dietary changes. He wasn't oblivious to that. He knew what was up. He at least knew that much. He was in those circles where people was going out to Honduras and things like that and reversing a bunch of ailments. So he was hip. He had some of this knowledge. He knew about it. He just chose to do something else. He chose to move in a destructive way. But let me continue on, man. Let me continue on with this clip.
So anything that's you're gonna like or taste good, horrible for you.
Mm-hmm. Fried chicken.
Killer.
Like carbohydrates are all sugar. Cupcakes.
Not killer.
Liquor sugar.
Now what's some,
tuna fish sandwiches.
What's some nasty shit?
Rice cakes? Yeah, rice cakes. Rice cakes?
No, rice cakes is not a good example.
Okay.
Like broccoli,
spinach. I had some garlic broccoli last night. It was good.
The garlic.
Garlic's not good?
Probably not.
Wow. So what the do you eat? Cardboard?
You're supposed to eat some leaves or some shit like that.
You playing, right?
No, flavor, because everything got
I told you, if you eat something and it tastes good, it's better.
Even too much fruit is sugar, depending on how the level of diabetes.
Wow. Yeah.
So watermelon, you can't have no watermelon?
I can have fruit, but
he has to watch how much of the sugar. Yeah, I said watermelon, not fruit. No, watermelon is a whole different thing for black people.
This is why my kids get mad.
Now listen, I want to tap in because he started talking about this is a misconception, and we need to change the way that we think about this. Hey, Bree, hey, Beast by Bless, DJ Elmo Peace, what's happening? When he started saying everything that tastes good for you is bad and everything that tastes bad is good for you, psychologically he defeated himself once he accepted that reality. Once he accepted that perception, he was doomed. The moment you sit down and say all the stuff that tastes good for me like it's bad, and the stuff that tastes bad is what I need, you're done. There are plenty of foods a person can eat that are healthy and nutritious for the body that don't taste bad, that don't taste bland. So we have got to stop putting that energy into the atmosphere. We have got to stop putting the energy in the atmosphere that if you eating healthy or when you are eating healthy, there is no such thing as food that tastes good. That is emphatically incorrect. But the moment you put that in the atmosphere or somebody put that in the atmosphere and you catch it and you accept it, it's going to make it that much more difficult for you to transition into a healthier lifestyle, because in your mind subconsciously you have accepted the reality that everything that's good for me don't taste good. It tastes bad, it tastes bland, it tastes bitter. You're not going to want to transition into that lifestyle because you already had this preconceived notion that a healthier lifestyle is nasty, it's bitter, it's bland, doesn't taste good. So you're gonna be that much more resistant to the idea of making healthy changes, because in your mind you have accepted, oh man, to eat healthy is trash. To eat healthy is not exciting, it's not fun, doesn't taste good. So like we have to stop putting that energy in the atmosphere, especially because we have folks that are listening, that are also going to receive what you said, and they're going to accept that, and they're going to put that energy back into the atmosphere. We got to stop doing that, man. You can eat healthy and have a good old time. You can eat healthy and have some of the best food you've ever tasted in your life. Eating healthy don't automatically mean the food is going to be trash. So we have got that energy we have got to stop putting into the atmosphere. We have to stop entertaining that. We have got to stop entertaining that. That is a fallacy. That is not correct. That everything that doesn't taste good is good for you. We gotta stop. We gotta change our perception, fam. Bro, I love broccoli. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me some spinach, man. I tear spinach up, whether it's the spinach juice or spinach itself, or put the spinach in a smoothie. Broccoli, man, I'm gonna eat broccoli. I can eat the broccoli raw. I can eat it cooked, whatever the case. You know, Brussels sprouts, all these things. Man, I don't know what people be on. You know, but man, there's some great vegetables out here. So we have got to stop putting that energy into the atmosphere, man, for sure. But let me continue on though.
Because I'm telling them like, yo, I'm gonna live. Right. Like, y'all want me to die, right, and not enjoy life. I'm gonna enjoy life and do certain shit. Right. No, Dad, but you can't do that. I'm like, guys, stop me. Right. Because it's like I gotta live. Right. So yeah, I'm gonna have the water. Goddamn, so what you?
Now, that's the main part that I wanted to tap in with. My man was talking about how his kids were striving to get him to adopt a healthier lifestyle and healthier habits. And his response was, man, y'all want me to die, but I'm going to live. And he did the total opposite. He did the total opposite. I don't know what we have got to change the way we perceive things. If living is putting death into your body, then I want no parts of living, fam. When your kids want you to put life inside your body and you looking at it as if they want you to die, that's wild, fam. Like, how can you not enjoy life when really the only thing they are asking you to change are the foods that you are eating? That's all that his kids were suggesting and recommending, that you change the way that you eat. And he had to take it a step forward. He had to not take it a step forward. He had to take it left field and say, y'all want me to die, but I'm gonna live. Fam, all they did was ask you to change what you were eating and stop drinking and stop smoking. You mean to tell me you can't live outside of that? Like you can't live outside of that, fam. You mean to tell me somebody telling you to eat more vegetables, eat more greens, and stop the smoking and drinking is taking away your entire life? Like you have nothing to live for outside of what you are eating, what you are consuming, what you are drinking, because that's literally all they were asking him to do. So I don't understand how that is interpreted as, oh, my kids want me to die, I must live. I'm gonna enjoy my life. Fam, we have got to stop looking at food as something to enjoy, fam. That was never how our ancestors viewed food. Now we view food as a source of enjoyment, recreation, something you do when you bored. Like this is what's causing all of these problems. Man, we are eating for enjoyment. We are eating for pleasure. We eat for recreation. We eat out of boredom. No, our ancestors, they ate for survival. They ate to live. Simple. They ate for fuel. Like this is what you are supposed. They ate for nutrients. This is what you are eating for. That's the whole purpose of food. Not for recreation. Not, oh, I'm bored. Not for, oh, enjoyment. I'm finna eat because I want this taste got one. No, that's not why you eat, fam. That is not why we eat. We literally eat for fuel. Like when they break down what a calorie is, man, that's source of energy, fam. That's heat. You know what I'm saying? It's fuel. Like when you break it down from a chemical standpoint, that is what a calorie is. But we eat a lot of what we call empty calories, calories that serve no purpose. So therefore, the body got to send off signals. Like, yeah, you consuming a lot of food, but it's garbage. It's not supplying the body with what it needs. So your body like, hey, we're not getting what we need. So let's send off this hunger signal so you can eat some more. And that's how you become obese. That's how you become overweight and obese, because you continuing to eat these empty calories. So we overeating, yet we malnourished. That's almost like a paradox. We eat too much, but we not eating enough of the good stuff. So we malnourished. You know, so your body is constantly sending off signals telling you to eat because you continuing to supply the body with garbage. And you wondering why you're hungry all the time. But instead of you grabbing the foods that you need that will satisfy the body and conquer these hunger signals, you continue to eat the processed garbage foods. And your body gonna keep sending off these signals. Like, man, we need to eat. I need some vitamin B12. I need some vitamin B6. I need some iron. I need, you know what I'm saying? I need this and that. I need some magnesium. I need some calcium. You're not giving me what I need, so I got to keep sending off this signal for you to eat. Next thing you know, you 40, 50 pounds overweight. You type 2 diabetic and all these type of things. You got hypertension, heart problems. You can't go from here to your mailbox. You can't go from the living room couch to your mailbox without getting tired. We eating for the wrong reasons, fam. Your body has certain nutrients, certain vitamins, certain antioxidants and things like that it needs to survive and thrive. That should be your priority. That should be the priority. Let me make sure I'm getting all of these things that I need. Let me make sure I'm giving my body the proper amount of calcium, the proper amount of magnesium, B12, B6, vitamin D, vitamin C, folate, all this type of stuff. Making sure I'm getting phosphorus, making sure I'm getting my body everything, the potassium. I'm going to make sure I give my body all of that before I start eating for recreational purposes. And you will come to find out, once you are supplying your body with everything that it needs, you will no longer crave all of this extra stuff. Your body will be satisfied. The reason why you have all of these cravings and whatnot is because your body is not satisfied. And then we misinterpret the cravings. We misinterpret the crave. You craving chocolate, but what's really happening is your body needs iron, fam. You know, so you misinterpret it as a chocolate craving, and you start eating the wrong chocolate that don't have iron in it. You know what I'm saying? So every time your body is craving something, your body never craves destruction. Your body is not craving something for you to put in the body to destroy it. If you are craving something, you are craving something that the body needs. You know, but again, we misinterpret these cravings and we go grab the wrong foods. When you think your body is craving sugar, your body is not craving Skittles. There is nothing nutritious, there is nothing nutritional, there is no nutritional value in a Skittle. So why would your body crave a Skittle? Fam, your body is craving the natural sugar from a fruit because this fruit has the antioxidants in it that will keep your body safe, that will fight off diseases, that will fight off ailments, fight off viruses. That is what your body is craving when it is craving sugar. Your body is never craving artificial sugar. No, fam. Like that is not what your body is craving. But again, we misinterpret it because then we misinterpret it because we want certain things. So you want the Skittles, you want the this and that. You know, you want the Snicker bar and all this type of stuff. So that's what you go grab. Kenyatta. So the multivitamin. So the problem here is initially I would say no to multivitamins and things like that. But what they have done, they have severely damaged the quality of our foods, even the fruits and vegetables. So for the most part, even if you are consuming a nice amount of fruits and veggies, you know, whole grains, all that type of good stuff, you may still be lacking in some departments when it comes to vitamins and minerals because of how they destroyed the quality of food. But then that's also when herbs come into place, man. The herbs can counter that. So I would tap in with the herbs before I tap into the multivitamins. Now, with the multivitamins, one thing you have to be sure to understand and just know in general is that the biggest problem that you can come across with multivitamins and just vitamins in general is that in nature it's not natural nor normal for a lot of these vitamins to be isolated. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you might find a person which multivitamin is a combination of vitamins. So that may be a little safe. But you have some people that might take them in isolated form, like they taking vitamin C and they taking a very high dosage of it. You go find a high dosage of vitamin C and that's all that it is. Like in nature, it's hard to find that. So that's like unnatural. So a lot of times certain vitamins can backfire because you are taking a very unnatural dose or dosage that doesn't exist in nature. So you got to watch that when you taking multivitamins and just vitamins that are isolated. You know, if the dosage is too high, like don't take that. Fam, you got some vitamin C in this 50,000 this and that, like don't take that. Like in nature, you're not finding that. So your body is not equipped to process that. You know, so that's what you got to be mindful of. But a multivitamin, since it's a combination of vitamins, the dosages may not be that high. But that's one of the problems that you will come across with vitamins when they are isolated. Like definitely don't take them isolated because again, that's not how nature works. When you got fruits and vegetables, they consist of a multitude of different vitamins and minerals. It's not just one, you know, so that's something you got to be mindful of. But the herbs are more important. Man, when you find you a good combination of herbs, you rocking and rolling. You rocking and rolling. So I would say do the knowledge to herbs first. You know, eat the fruits and veggies as raw as possible, and then find you a good combination of herbs. Because one thing that can end up happening too with vitamins, man, is you could literally OD on the vitamins and take too many and just end up with an overload. And that's another thing. See, a lot of times we focus on and we know about lacking, but we don't understand the flip side and how easy it is to actually have too much of something. You know, I got this book about iron overload, you know, and just having too much iron. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we have this fear of having not enough. Like, oh, I don't have enough iron. I don't have enough vitamin D. But we don't have a fear of the flip side. I can have too much. Too much is a thing too. So you can have too much vitamin D. You can have too much iron. You can have too much vitamin D, you can have too much iron, you can have too much vitamin C, you can have too much of anything. You know, so again, it's always that fine balance, and that's why the vitamins and things like that can get tricky, because there's certain vitamins, certain minerals that you don't need to take every day. Like the water soluble vitamins are like some vitamins that you will need to take every day because your body urinates the excess. You know what I'm saying? So your body doesn't hold on to the water soluble vitamins. You know, you end up pissing it out. You eliminate the excess. You know, like vitamin C is one of those joints. Like you're going to piss out the excess vitamin C. So your body is never going to have an excess amount of vitamin C because it's water soluble. You know, so whatever the body doesn't use with the vitamin C on a day-to-day basis, you're going to urinate that out. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain vitamins that you do not need to be taking every day. You know, it's certain minerals that you don't need to be taking every day, like depending on the dosage of vitamin D. If you're not getting enough sunlight, you don't need to take that vitamin D every day. It's certain capsules that you might need to take just once a week. You know, so if you got some with vitamin D and the dosage is pretty high, you taking it every day, that could be a problem. You can end up with high levels. I had a client that's what happened. They was taking it. They was told that they was low in vitamin D, and they started taking this capsule every day. And then when they went back, the levels were elevated, and they had too much vitamin D, and that was causing some problems and some symptoms with them. You know, so we just got to understand what you need on a day-to-day basis and what you need on a week-to-week basis or a month-to-month basis. But you do not all vitamins and minerals on a day-to-day basis. It's really only a handful that you need daily. Only a handful that you need daily. You know, and those are technically the water soluble vitamins. You can look up the water soluble vitamins. You know, you got the fat soluble vitamins and you got the water soluble vitamins. The fat soluble vitamins, I believe, are A, D, E, and K, if I'm not mistaken. And you got most of the B vitamins, and then vitamin C are your water soluble vitamins, and those are the ones that the body doesn't store those. So you need those every day. You know, the B vitamins and vitamin C, you primarily need those every day because your body, again, will urinate the excess of those particular vitamins. You know, but things like iron, things like magnesium, calcium, you do have a minimal amount that you can get on a daily basis. But a lot of times when you're taking them capsules, like it exceeds the minimal amount, you know. Yeah, too much man, too much too much anything, too much of anything. And that's what we don't understand. So it's like, again, everything is about that balance and dealing inequality, you know. So you don't want to take too much of anything. And that's where these capsules can get a little dangerous. You got to just think about it, man. Sometimes, like, they promise you can get a very small capsule and it is promising you a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever been taking like a vitamin and that joint, real small joint, is promising you 10 times more than the daily recommended intake. That's unnatural, man. For something that small to have that much, you got to be careful with stuff like that. You gotta be careful with things like that, man. You gotta be careful. Hey, but peace to everybody. Peace to everybody that's tapping in, man. Peace to everybody that's tapping in that I wasn't able to acknowledge. You know, I be handling business, gotta multitask and whatnot. But Dominique, you say what's the best way to get vitamin D if the sun isn't always out where you live? You got mushrooms, you got tofu, and then some of those plant-based milks, milks, they have vitamin D in them. So sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do and tap in with the milk, like the unsweetened almond milk. You gotta look at the milk or the oat milk or whatever and see if it has vitamin D in it. And then you can always supplement that joint. You just gotta be mindful and make sure you're just not taking enough. Like, I got a joint where you just take it like once a week and you be good. You know, so if all fails, man, you just gotta find you a respected brand in capsule form. And then another thing that people don't know for the most part, unless it says vitamin D3 vegan or plant-based, for the most part, vitamin D3 is animal-based vitamin D. If you want to get the plant-based or vegan version of vitamin D, that's vitamin D2. You know, so a lot of people don't be knowing that. You know, so if something says vitamin D3 and it doesn't clarify that it's plant-based or vegan, then it's from an animal source. Vitamin D2 is the plant-based source of vitamin D. You know, so that's something to also keep in mind, man. If you're looking to be plant-based or vegan with the vitamin D supplement, make sure you are seeking out vitamin D2. Or, like I said, unless it says vitamin D3 and it's like the vegan version of that, which you have some brands that have that, you got to make sure you make that distinction if that's what you want. Yeah, so the vitamin D2, again, these are things that you may not see, may not have heard, but yeah, that's what it is. Like that's again, and that's part of getting the information, which is what I was on with Gotti. Like I can't be in the unknown. When it comes to things, man, I need to have the not give me all the knowledge I can get. Give me all the knowledge. Hey, Nikki Peace, what's happening? Give me all of the knowledge, fam. If we got conditions and we got ailments out here, I want to know everything there is to know. That's one of the reasons why I study a lot of these conditions, a lot of these ailments that I don't have. It's called staying ready so I don't have to get ready. It's called preventative maintenance, preventative measures. Like I don't want to wait until I have something to try to reverse it. Reversing the condition is not as easy. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to learn which approach is going to work best for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's complicated. So I would rather take a preventative measure than try to reverse something. Because the main thing that has to happen in order for you to reverse a condition is your mindset. You can have everything in order. You can be eating right. You can be drinking right. You can be exercising. But if your mindset is not right and exact and your environment is still filled with stress, you're not going to reverse a condition. If you are still in a stressful environment, I don't care how clean you are eating. When you have a condition and a disease that you are fighting, if you are in a stressful environment, it's a wrap. You are going to succumb to that ailment. You are going to succumb to that ailment every time. You have got to remove yourself from all stressful environments, stressful people to give yourself the best chance to reverse a condition or a disease. Have to. That is one of the major keys. All of the healing that I study, all of the curing that I study, that was a common denominator outside of just changing the way you eat. The common denominator was you have got to be in a stress-free environment. This is why some of these people that have the money, they go off to Honduras, they go off to these tropical islands to remove themselves from the stress, to place themselves in a sunlit environment. Man, this is crucial. This is crucial, fam. See though, you say, oh yeah, colloidal silver for sure. When COVID was popping off heavy, that was a main staple of what I was taking. Facts, man, that was a main staple. Dominique, yeah, I wouldn't take sea moss for vitamin D in and of itself. No, it's a lot of minerals contained in the sea moss, but I would not just be taking sea moss and say, boom, I'm gonna be good with my vitamin D. Nah, I wouldn't do that. But sea moss is definitely something beneficial to take though. But I wouldn't solely bank on that as my vitamin D source. Lorenzo, what's happening? Hey, DJ Elmo for sure. But yeah, I don't like to live in ignorance, man. Give me information. Tell me the truth. Tell me how long you think I got to live with this condition. Tell me all of that. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. It's not going to frighten me. It's going matter. What that's going to do is put a battery in my back. It's going to push me. First of all, because I'm gonna defy the odds. So give me all this information. Give me everything there is I need to know. How long you think I'm gonna live? How destructive this thing is? The worst case scenario. Everything. And I'm going to show and prove. I'm gonna tap in. I'm gonna lock in. So that was one thing. I'm gonna make a decision. Because again, like Irv Gotti was talking about how his kids wanted him to die and he wanted to live, but his version of living involved him eating what he wanted to eat, eating stuff that tastes good. Like my version of living is living. Like I'm gonna put what needs to go inside my body at some point, especially if I got a situation like that going on. Like, oh no, now it's really time to live. It's really time to tighten up. But unfortunately, especially in the Black community, it doesn't work like that. You would think, oh, mugs get hit with conditions and it creates some urgency around them to make changes. I didn't been around that, man, too many times in life. Don't work like that. Don't work like that, man. Plenty of people come down with ailments and they still don't make changes, or they may make changes for a week and then just give up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we be on. So even when we are faced with these health crises, we still don't make changes for the most part. We still don't do what we need to do. Or we don't stick to it, or we don't commit to it. We got to stop doing that. That's why the time is now to make these changes and commit to the changes and stick to the changes. The time is always now, not when you have the condition, because it's going to be that much more complicated. Because your mind, you already going to be wrestling with that negative energy. Man, I got this condition. Why me? So you already got a lot working against you already. So it's going to be that much more complicated to make these changes that you really don't want to make. At that point, man, a lot of people like, man, whatever, man, I'm just about to be like Irv Gotti. I'm going to eat what I want to eat. It's my time anyway. That's how they going to start viewing it. So that's why, man, you just got to make these changes ASAP, man, as soon as you possibly can. Don't wait. Stop pushing off the inevitable, man. As you age, man, you should be maturing and making these changes. And that's the actual fact of the situation, man. As we age, you shouldn't be 40 eating how you was eating at 14. That just shouldn't be the reality, man. You shouldn't be 40 eating like you was eating at 14, man. That's just not it. It's not it. Mike, for sure, man, 54 is a young bull. Way too young. Way too, and we gotta normalize that. Like, man, that's young, fam. Like, it be people in my age bracket talking about how old they are. Like, no, fam, no. 54, like I'm still not about to be, I'm old. Like, no. Like, no. Like, we gotta watch what we be putting into the atmosphere, whether it's jokingly, you know what I'm saying? Like, whether we joking or we serious. We gotta just stop putting certain things into the atmosphere. Because we have associated certain things that come with old age. First of all, that don't have to come with old age. But then when we keep pushing the old age up, that's why we starting to experience a lot of ailments as a community a lot earlier, because we have pushed up what it means to be old. Like now you got people thinking that they 30 and that's old, and this is what is we are agreeing upon this, so that is causing us to experience a lot of ailments a lot earlier in life, because collectively we have accepted the fact that 30 is old. No, it is not, fam. So we need to stop doing that, man. That is that collective unconscious, the collective energy. Like, we got to stop doing that, man, because that affects the generations before us. So if we keep pushing down the ages in regards to what it means to be old, we're going to start seeing younger and younger people dying or succumbing to ailments that didn't used to be the case. It used to be reserved for 80-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? But we keep pushing that age down. We keep pushing the age down. Next thing you know, 25 is going to be old. We're going to be all, you 25, you old. Like, no, fam, we have got to stop doing that. People in my age bracket have no business talking about how old they are. Like, I'm old. I'm breaking down. You shouldn't be 34 talking about you breaking down. You should not be 30 talking about you breaking down. Just quit putting that into the atmosphere, fam. If you are breaking down at 34, 35 is because you're not doing something right. Like, that's just a fact. You're not doing something right, or you're not doing something in general. 34, 35 does not mean automatic breakdown. Like, that's not normal. Something is wrong, fam. Like, that's why you're breaking down at 34, 35, and 30. You have failed to do something correctly, or you have failed to do something in general. So now it's time for you to approach that situation correctly and correct the error. Like, so that's how that goes. But if we have accepted that, oh man, when you 30, your knee gonna start doing this, your back gonna start doing that. That's the new norm. So then when a 30-year-old hits 30 and their knees start hurting and their back start hurting, then they have written it off like, oh, that's what they told me happens when you turn 30. That is not normal. Something is wrong with you. And it's time for you to look into that so that you can correct what's wrong. But again, we have told people, oh, that's what happened. That's what comes with getting older. And now we done told them 30 is getting older. No. So we got to stop doing that, man. I don't know about y'all, but I'm very conscious and mindful of the energy that I choose to put into the atmosphere. It's certain things that I don't joke about, and that's why people call me serious or whatever the case may be. But it's just certain things I don't joke about, because I understand how the subconscious mind works. The subconscious mind doesn't have a sense of humor. The subconscious mind accepts whatever it is you put into the atmosphere, whatever it is you supply to it. It accepts it. Subconscious mind don't understand that you joking. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things that I will not speak, because I know the subconscious mind is going to interpret it as if I'm truly saying this and believing this. So that's why I tell people, man, certain things you just shouldn't joke about, because your subconscious mind ain't joking. It ain't gonna write it off and say, oh yeah, this person joking. It don't know that. It's not able to discern that. It's not able to detect fact from fiction. All it knows is this is what you continuously say, so now I'm accepting it. So it's going to become your reality. All I know is this person keeps saying 30 back problems, 30 knee problems. So then therefore that's what you're going to be presented with. So that's why certain things I don't joke about, certain things I just don't put into the atmosphere. And that's why, because the subconscious mind is not able to discern fact from fiction, and it does not have a sense of humor. It accepts whatever it is that you plant inside of it or into it. It accepts it. Whether it's true or false, it accepts it. And that's how, when you've heard the statement, you've heard people say that this person will tell a lie so much that they start to believe the lie. It's science behind that. That's psychology. Yes, you can tell a lie so much that you start to believe a lie, because that's the subconscious mind. It's how it works. You done told yourself a lie so much that your subconscious mind say this must be the reality. So it's science behind that. That's not that's not a fallacious statement. That's not a funny statement. That's an actual factual statement. When you lie so much, your subconscious mind will accept the lie. I say, okay, boom, we keep saying this must be true. That's why a person will start to believe the lie that they're telling about themselves, because the subconscious mind has received it and accepted it, and now it has presented that reality to this said person. So that lie essentially has become a reality, just like they've done with Black people collectively. The lies that they sold us and told us and fed us, we subconsciously accepted it, or our subconscious minds accepted it, and that has ultimately become our reality. So we are essentially all living a lie, because that's what they planted in our subconscious minds. So again, be mindful of what you put into the atmosphere. And again, I don't care if it's a joke or not. Your mind does not have a sense of humor. Hey, Mike B, what's happening? So again, this is something to be very mindful of. We got to start understanding the mind, man. We got to study the mind, and we got to start understanding the mind. A lot of people are afraid to study the mind. A lot of people are afraid to sit with their own mind, what they would call meditation. You know what I'm saying? People are afraid to do that. A lot of people running from, we running from ourselves. We run from ourselves. We run from our realities and things along those lines. That's why people will choose to live in ignorance. You don't want to accept the fact that you have a condition. You don't want to accept the fact that something may be wrong, because now you got to do something about it. When I tell you to accept the fact that something is wrong with you, I'm not telling you to continue to put that into the atmosphere. No, I'm saying, okay, boom, there's a problem, and now I'm going to become solution oriented. So now when I acknowledge the problem, I don't dwell on the problem. I acknowledge the problem, and now it's time to think solutions. And when I put that into the subconscious mind, then all the solutions that I need to solve this problem, they will come to me. Now, if I dwell on the problem, then I'm just going to multiply my problems, or this problem will intensify and magnify. No, you cannot focus on the problem. You cannot dwell on the problem. You just have to acknowledge the problem, accept that this is a problem, and then it's like, okay, what are the solutions? What can I do about it? Then that's when you will receive the solutions to the said problem. You know, so again, you don't run from the problem. You don't ignore the problem. Ignoring the problem doesn't eliminate the problem. It doesn't eliminate the existence of the condition, trying to ignore it. No, you acknowledge it. Okay, say this is what I'm dealing with. This is cool. It's reversible, and I'm going to be one of the ones to reverse it. But how am I going to go about that? How do I need to go about that? And you will start receiving all these answers. When you immerse yourself in the solution of the problem, you will receive multiple solutions. And now it's time to implement, experiment, and see which solution works best for you. But one of these solutions will work. So that is how you attract solutions. That's how you attract cures. That's how you attract healing into your life. Acknowledging the problem and then focusing on the solutions. And that could be something as simple as asking yourself the right questions. How do I solve this problem? How do I heal from this disease? How do I cure this disease? You ask yourself this question on a day-to-day basis, on a nightly basis. Eventually, your subconscious mind is going to send you some answers. But you got to be tapped in. You got to be tapped in. You got to be tapped into self. When you tap into self, then you will be able to identify these clues once you receive them. But we are so out of whack when it comes to the reality of ourselves and just to ourselves in general, that even when we ask ourselves these questions, we're not able to take heed to the signs because we can't identify the signs, because we are out of whack with ourselves. We are not in tune. We are not tapped in to the reality of ourselves. So we miss the signs. We can't interpret the signs because we're not tapped in. You know, so you got to stay tapped in. You got to stay connected to self so that when you start asking yourself these questions and you need these answers, you are able to identify them. Because you may get the signs in a very muffled way. It may not come to you clear. You know, so you got to be alert. You got to be able to think. You got to have some clarity. You got to have some clarity. You got to have it. You got to have it, man. You have got to have, your mind has got to be clear, fam. Your mind, you got to be tuned in and tapped in when you start receiving these signs, when you start asking yourself these questions. Because again, you may receive the signs, you may receive the answers in a very muffled and distorted way. You know, so you're going to have to do some breaking down, some deciphering, some connecting dots. Like, you're going to have to do that. Very seldom will you receive your sign in a very clear-cut way. When you start asking yourself these questions, man, what do I need to solve X, Y, and Z? Very rarely will you just get a clear-cut answer from the subconscious mind. Very rarely. It's not impossible, but it's rare. Most of the time, you're going to have some type of dream, some type of vision, some type of sign where it's like, wait a minute, what? And you're going to have to connect a dot or two or three. And that's how you're going to come up with your answer. So you got to be really alert. You know, you can't overlook some simple things in your life. Because that simple thing that you overlook, that could have been your sign. That could have been your sign. So again, you got to be alert. You got to be mindful. You got to be aware. You got to be conscious when you start planting those type of questions into the subconscious mind. Because you're going to receive answers. You're going to receive signs. But it could be some very small things that you will generally overlook if you're not alert, you know. And we tend to move robotically, you know, we tend to move like robots, man. So it's a lot of things that we just not aware of that be happening to us. So you gotta be mindful, man. You gotta be present in the moment when you start planting things like that into the subconscious mind, because those signs, man, they could come from anywhere. But if you are moving like a robot, man, you're not going to be present in the moment. And you're going to overlook that small clue, small sign that came your way. You know, so you got to tap in, and you can't write it off. You just say, man, this came to me for a reason. You know, what questions have I been asking myself lately? Okay, boom. Let me tap in and study what this actually means and how this is related, how this relates or correlates to what it is that I need to solve. So that's very important, fam. When you have problems that need to be solved, when you have ailments that you're dealing with that you're trying to cure, reverse, and just heal from, plant the seed, plant the question into the subconscious mind, and pay attention to the signs. Whether it comes from a dream, whether it's some things that's happening in your life, whether it's a pattern in your life, like it's that sign can come from anywhere. But you got to be able to pay attention. You got to be alert, present, mindful, and aware, or else you will miss it. You know, a lot of you all didn't receive signs many a times, but you overlooked them. You walked right past it, or you looked right at it and didn't think nothing of it because you was not tapped in. You were not tapped in, so you overlooked the sign. You walked right past the sign. So we can't move like that, man. We cannot move like that. But y'all, man, with that being said, man, I went over my time slightly. I only had like an hour to build, man. I gotta make some moves. Y'all know it's Super Bowl Sunday. I don't really care for any of these teams that's playing, but I really don't like the Chiefs. So I hope they take this L. But it is what it is, man. But I'm about to make these moves. I appreciate y'all tapping in with the kid for this build. It's always peace chopping it up with you all. You know, I'm trying to get a consistent schedule here, man. So I'm gonna be tapping in with y'all pretty much every Sunday that I have available. So I'm gonna tap in next Sunday with y'all, and within the middle of the week, probably hit y'all with some type of upload, man, just to keep y'all, going, keep y'all inspired and motivated. You know, but I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Hopefully this stream was of use to you and you can take it and implement it into your life and make some changes and elevate and evolve. But man, I'm gonna let y'all get back to enjoying the rest of y'all Sunday, man. Y'all be easy. I'm gonna tap in with y'all next Sunday, man. I'm out though. Peace.